All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at an example. I wanted to put together a visual example for you guys to sort of help you see what it is I'm wanting to do when you integrate a thesis or integrate a quotation. So what I've got here is I've got a thesis, a quotation, and a works cited. Okay, this is actually a source material that I use in my 101 midterm exams. So I've got Morrison, Grant. Okay, so that's Grant Morrison, Super God, What Mass Vigilantes, Miraculous Mutants, and a Sun God from Smallville Can Teach Us About Being Human, Spiegel and Grau, 2011, page 14. Okay, so that's where this quotation here comes from. And then to sort of help clarify where I'm going with all this, I created a thesis to go along with this. So the thesis should very much guide my explanation and should also guide why I chose this quotation. And of course, the explanation helps us see that. So the thesis statement here is Superman is the most important character ever created because he represents an ideal model for humanity to strive for and to seek to become more like. Now that's very rough. I could have also said he's the most important superhero character, whatever I want to do. But I got a quotation here, and this is what we're going to work with. This is a quotation, and using the thesis as kind of this guiding point here. So it says, in the quotation, this is from part of the introduction, it says, before it was a bomb, the bomb was an idea. And he's referring here to the atom bomb that he's terrified of because he's growing up near a nuclear subbase. And then he says Superman, however, was a faster, stronger, better idea. So he's talking about this idea of ideas. So let's go over here and talk about how I need to integrate this quotations. Now, obviously, as I've stated previously, I need in some form or fashion to introduce the quotation. So even if I'm keeping it simple, so let's just say I go do the full tilt here and sort of say, in his book, Super Gods. Okay, I'm going to go back here and let's just do a full introduction based on what I've told you guys previously. Okay. All right, so is it Super Gods? Grant Morrison lays out his own personal journey through comic book universe, and along the way describes the birth and creation of the comic book in America. Okay, so that's me giving some background information about what goes on and what, of course, Grant Morrison's trying to do in his book. Okay, so I've given some context for where the author and so I'm going to mention here. So in the introduction, Morrison describing his fear, nuclear weapons, notes that superheroes are more powerful when he says, there's my quote. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here, and since this is on page 14, I've already introduced the author. I'm going to go ahead and take that. So now we know exactly where that goes. Now I've done the introduction part, and I've set up everything. I now need to explain this, and in explaining this is where I want to directly link this back to my quotation, my thesis statement to be more specific. Okay, I want to draw the why I chose this quotation. So, let's see here. What Morrison really noting is that for a child, positive images and ideas can beat out the negative or fearful elements might give them nightmares. He is also pointing out the real, and I'll put that in quotes here, power of Superman to inspire. It could be something as simple as that. I could go on here. Okay, so I basically set up the fact that I've sort of re-explained what he's trying to get at in his quotation based on my understanding of the book, and then I'm pointing out this idea that he is talking about superheroes as an ability to inspire, which ties back in here sort of in a way to what I'm talking about in my thesis step. I could even go on here. He is a model kinds of behavior we should want to emulate. All right. And now this can lead me to a couple of different things. This can lead me to furthering my discussion, which I'm probably hoping at, this idea of talking about inspiration and power. And I might go on to the next paragraph by saying the power of inspirational, because I'm talking role models, is a crucial element for young people growing up. And see, notice how I'm taking this idea here that I've left off here. All right, and so of course, let's even treat this as a full paragraph. So now I'm taking this idea of something I talked about here, this real power of Superman to inspire, the power of inspirational role models. Superman is one of those role models. Okay. And so again, I'm sort of using this idea of what I'm using in the explanation of my quotation to further going on here, moving on to another point. So I basically used this entire section, this paragraph, as sort of an introduction to another point I'm trying to make, and then I can use this and quote more, maybe pull in another source that talks about the power of inspirational role models. And this is kind of going to a niche area that I like to go to with my own research. But I'm just sort of wanting to sort of let you guys visualize and see this and see how this could work. And let me go ahead and do this. I'll try and put some screen captures to go up with this video. So I'll post this on YouTube, give you guys the link, and then include some screen captures to go along with this. So do look at this. Hopefully it can be something useful to you, because notice how I took a line again, a line that is basically just a line long, and I have expanded it into something much larger, and I'm using it to further my own conversation, debate, and the points I'm trying to make. And that's one of the elements I want you guys to take away from this video.